They are the aggressive voices of the left. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 most loudmouth liberals.
How do you and Mary Madeline make it work? I mean, she's a brilliant, patriotic Republican strategist, and you, let's face it, are a pinko nutjob.
For this list, we've decided to exclude anyone who's had a significant political career. Number 10, Jon Stewart.
You really think that's a political comment?
Yes.
You're insane.
Kicking off our list is the man who walks the line between comedy and journalism. As a member of that infamous liberal media elite, Stewart is not as argumentative as some, but what he lacks in abrasiveness, he makes up for in wisecracks.
The book is, and again, I don't want to criticize your cover designer, Bill O'Reilly Killing Lincoln.
He's super smart and does rag on both parties. However, fair and balanced aren't usually terms ascribed to him, even if he expects it of others.
What you do is partisan hackery, and I'll tell you why I know
John Kerry
it.
on your show, and you sniff his throne, and you're accusing us of partisan hackery?
Absolutely.
You've got to be kidding, man.
You're on CNN.
Say,
The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you?
Number 9, Bill Maher.
Liberals must launch our plan for socialist domination immediately.
As with most liberal comedians, fans of Maher think he's a well-informed political commentator with a penchant for political incorrectness.
Staying in the airplane when it hits the building. Say what you want about it, not cowardly.
If you fall on the other side of the spectrum, he's a mean-spirited, narcissistic, obnoxious bully who panders to Democrats at every turn. He's pro-prostitutes, poker, PETA, and pot, and militantly anti-religion.
My big thing is, I don't know. That's what I preach. I preach the gospel of I don't know.
He constantly calls his viewers brainwashed liberals, but who did that brainwashing exactly?
Now, I like this president, and all those secret strategy meetings we had with me and him and George Soros and the new Black Panthers. I found him to be very agreeable. Allah be praised. But
Number 8, Rachel Maddow. No one ever accused MSNBC of being anything but left-leaning, but Maddow pushes that to the extreme. One of mainstream media's few openly gay personalities, she's marketed as an outsider who provides blunt, in-your-face commentary. Translation, her obvious agenda and holier-than-thou attitude are given a daily platform.
The support for these policies, look at this. The support for these policies is the kind of support you get for the contention that puppies are cute.
But Maddow's built a cult following by calling Bush a war criminal, so let's give credit where it's due.
Though President Bush, the torture approver-in-chief, has yet to be held to account for anything, someone is still trying on another front.
Number 7, James Carville. He's the Ragin' Cajun. Carville has been a high-profile Democrat since he was Bill Clinton's campaign manager extraordinaire and coined the phrase,
it's the economy, stupid,
as a central message. Unlike many on either side of the political divide, Carville overcame his biases and married Republican personality Mary Madeline. Aside from the fact that he's a Southern Democrat, it's his look, accent, and sound bites that make this guy memorable.
But if it's the opinion of your peers that you're worried about, you need to get out in front of this story. Cajun style.
Number 6, Sean Penn.
You commie, homo-loving sons of guns.
Whether or not you actually believe Penn is a fascist, you have to admit he's a talented actor.
This is my daughter!
Either way, like most Hollywood liberals, he's criticized for capitalizing on capitalism while at the same time condemning it. And boy, does he condemn it.
You want more bang for your buck? Let's talk about the human rescue plan.
Actually, his big thing was the Iraq War, but he's one of many actors who's used the Oscar stage to send a political message.
I think that it is a good time for those who voted for the ban against gay marriage to sit and reflect and anticipate their great shame and the shame in their grandchildren's eyes if they continue that way of support. We've got to have equal rights for everyone.
Number 5, Keith Olbermain. With guys like this around, it's hard to deny the liberal media bias. Good journalism reveals both sides of the story, but rabid liberal Olbermain usually bounces his opinions off people who share them, like the blue state's Fox News.
And Dick Wolf was being over the top by comparing Beck, O'Reilly, and Limbaugh to disease, because comparing them to disease gives disease a bad name.
He's not the worst person in the world, but this former sportscaster was fired after he secretly donated to the Democratic Party, even though he claims to be neutral.
The pathological presidential liar or an idiot in chief. It is the nightmare scenario of political science fiction.
Number 4, Chris Matthews. Often teamed up with Olbermain is this guy, sometimes called the most conservative voice on MSNBC, probably because he once claimed to have voted for George W. Bush. Matthews can be depended on for some pretty positive liberal spin. He's also pretty angry, and he loves to interrupt people.
That's the problem. We've got a government. We've got a government.
And he's not big on religion. Please tone down the yelling, won't you?
All this is on the record, Rick, and you keep denying it. In fact, you keep dancing around it because it's not part of your...
Those are your words, not his words.
Number 3, Alec Baldwin. He's not a staunch Republican, he just plays one on TV.
Thank you for telling me what I already know. You should work with the Huffington Post.
While Baldwin is by no means the only Hollywood liberal, he's high on conservatives' hit lists. He's outspoken, articulate, and knowledgeable, but prone to gaffes. Baldwin's Huffington Post blog was one thing, but him possibly running for office is quite another. Also admitted, supporting Occupy Wall Street and doing Capital One commercials is a bit iffy.
Frustrating, isn't it? But that won't happen with the Capital One venture card.
Number 2, Piers Morgan.
Why do you want to deport me?
Following the Sandy Hook school shooting, left-wingers jumped on the gun control bandwagon hard. Leading the charge was CNN's Piers Morgan. Between calling the NRA head stupid or getting into spats with every pro-gun expert around, Morgan pissed people off so much they petitioned to have him deported.
And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
With his confrontational ways and never back down attitude, he will be riling the right for years, unless he's sent back to England.
I know why sales of these weapons have been soaring in the last few days. It's down to idiots like you. Mr. Pratt, thank you for joining me.
Number 1, Michael Moore.
Last week's poll, 72% said tax the rich. 72%. 72%!
Taking the top spot on our list is the propaganda machine who brought us Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11. Moore eschews the label political activist and is often called disingenuous since he actually makes money.
How are you helping these people with your $50 million?
I don't have $50 million.
That's what it's rumored you're worth.
Well, really, is that what you do, sell rumors?
We're asking you the truth.
You're just punk media, is all you are. You lie. You lie.
But basically, Republicans love to hate on this Democratic Party mouthpiece because A, people watch his films, B, he's rich, and C, he's mega liberal, or rather, anti-American. Plus, they never pass up a good fat joke.
It's Michael Moore, a wildly fat man with an anti-American streak even wider than his waistline.
Do you agree with our list? Which liberal personalities do you find the most combative?
But resist we much, we must, and we will much about that be committed.
For more top 10s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You know something? It makes me sick when I hear people say that kind of thing.
Piers, when did I say that, Piers? It makes me sick when I hear people...
Sweeping proposal.